This is Grand Campaigns in the American Civil War, playing Thunder on the Mississippi. We are in the campaign game and it is the end of turn 4. Situation basically is that the Union are well across the sort of Pierre River here and the Little Pierre River, and are heading up to Claiborne County here. There's a small Confederate force which is in a bit of a mess, but is sort of blocking more by accident rather than intention. But the Union also have the Big Black River in front of them. Now there's actually a ferry here at Thompson's Bluff which is uncovered, which is if you can break across it. The only problem is if you do get across the river here, it's very bad terrain in these swamps, but it would get you across the river, so I suppose that's something. The other bridges are pretty much cut and ferries are pretty much covered. They destroyed the ferry here. So the Confederate Army is beginning to assemble now. They've got the basics of a field army here, but they still haven't got a proper command structure. It needs to be, but there are rules that allow them to use these units more effectively than you would think, based on the fact there's 4 different commands in this area. Most of the Confederate forces which are not allowed to move are now released. We've actually released the Confederate Army commander here, and I've also released the unit over here in Jackson. Okay, so the units that aren't released are these fortifications that go all the way up the river line here. They don't get released till 11, but there might be a special release for them if enemy units come in close to them. We'll have to look that up in a minute. The Union have got their river transport, it's not river transport, river transfer available, so they can move a unit via the river, 1 unit per turn. Now I need to do a little bit of reading to establish how exactly that works, but I assume if you're somewhere on a river where you can embark on a boat, you can pretty much move freely along these rivers which aren't covered by forts or enemy zones of control. I'd have to check all that out. So the Union are pretty concentrated in Grant's force of McClellan's corps here, and you've got the other corps, McPherson's corps, down here, which are much more spread out. But they've got the problem is they've got to get across this river line here, otherwise they could ignore that and just slide upwards towards where the rail line is, which will ultimately be their target. If you can cut that rail line, you can cause a lot of problems. You can get victory points of burning stations and capturing towns along that line as well. By doing that, you should isolate Vicksburg from the rest of the Confederacy. Okay, anything else that's going? Oh yeah, there's a strat phase that's going to kick in, but this is turn 5. That's at the end of the action phase in this particular turn.